Welcome to another episode of the You Only Live Once Life and Business Innovation Style Meditations, Yummy Conversations by Hani, the business and transformational energetic coach, help you live yummily in your body so that you can live yummy in your life. Yummy stands for your unique magnetic momentum, which is the way of how to activate your energy, insight, intrinsic motivation, intrinsic healing, intrinsic self-propulsion, so that you can go and thrive. So today we're going to be talking about 5 golden rules that you need to know in order to break through your healing and transformation. So before we begin, I wanted to just share a little bit more about the perspective of healing and transformation. Where you are right now is different from where you want to be in a couple of states. So where your goal is a place where you have different results, different outcomes, different mindset, different way of being, different emotional state, and also different circumstances and different ways that you are going to have in your reality, and you are going to create that in your reality. Now, in order for you to jump from where you are today to where you want to be, a couple of those things need to change. And so here today, we're going to be talking about 5 of those things that are the linchpins of changing in order for you to create that breakthrough healing. So healing and transformation happens when you're able to completely be in the state where you are able to create that change from within. So whether that's healing your mindset, healing your cells, healing your ability is to create different outcomes. It all comes down to allowing your body to return back to its natural optimized state, and your body that's able to transform your thought and your visions into reality, right? Every single thing you see around you was once a thought. And how are you able to align your thoughts, your actions, your emotions, and your results? All right. So the first one is when you're embarking on something where you want to change and heal or change and transform, the first thing is to suspend all prior decisions. Suspend what you believe is the right thing or is the way that you need to absolutely do this. So going from a limited perspective to an unlimited perspective. Remove the limits. Things like decisions, conclusions, right? Any decisions that you've previously made, any judgments that you've previously made, any conclusions that you've previously made may or may not limit your ability to create a new perspective, a new thoughts process that does not follow your old linear logical sequence, but it might be something that is lateral or something that goes a couple of dimensions above what you're thinking. So allow yourself to know when you're thinking certain things, are they projections of your old belief patterns and old way of thinking, or are they new? So that's one of the ways in which you can share and shift your thinking. Now, the second one is to apply insights thoroughly. So a lot of times people come to me and they get either the matrix unplugging, or which is a energetic healing process that removes the 300 over blocks in your system. And for people who are not sensitive to energy, this would mean that you might notice differences in the ability to shift what we said previously about suspending prior judgments, deepening your awareness, allowing yourself to perceive your world with different perspectives and lenses. You might not be able to connect those dots so closely, but looking back, you can see that the difference and changes it has made. Now, are you able to apply energetic shifts, insights, things that you hear and you see in the world that resonate with you, that have a positive impact on your life, into the way that you do things, into the way that you think, into the way that you make decisions? So the second rule, golden rule, is to apply any insight and anything that opens up your awareness and opens up your possibility in all areas of your life. Because the more you can integrate this into the way that you think, if it's useful for you, the more you're able to see the changes happen, not just in one linear dimension, which is what you're focusing on so much, but in all of the areas around it as well. So for example, there was a period of my time where I would really be accustomed to showing up and valuing being nice, and to this so much so that I would hide who I authentically was because I needed to put up a mask and I wanted to be liked. And in that period of time, a lot of people saw this version of me that was this little girl. I look, 10, 20 years younger than I am. And they would just have this perception that I was someone who was very new agey and very in the clouds, airy fairy were some of the words. And when they really got to talk to me, then they realized I actually went through a 15-year disease healing process, went through dark nights of the soul, went through lots and lots of deep, challenging moments, that they were able to see, wow, and you did this all on your own without a lot of familial support or things like that. And they were like, whoa, this is actually really powerful stuff. You have a power that's why isn't it showing in your day-to-day life, or why isn't it showing when you first meet someone? So when I heard that, I resonated with it because I realized there was a split personality in terms of who I really was and how I showed up in front of a big group of people. Now, of course, you can use your discernment and make sure that, whatever it is that you're showing up as is something that is in alignment with who you are. But also at that time in my life, I was really on the path of flow. So the idea that I had at that time, and my focus and my transformation at that time, was to be able to show up as whoever I was authentically. From there, allow people and the universe, synchronicity, to bring me the people who naturally resonated with me. So I was not in the path of wanting to succumb to judgments of other people or be afraid of judgments because of perhaps insecurities about who I was or what people might see I am. So in that moment, I realized that I needed to face the fear of not being seen as someone likable, not being seen as someone who's pleasant, although that was a huge adaptation skill that I had learned being in, just more than 10, 20 countries growing in the last couple of decades. Now, when I realized that, not only did I realize that that power needed to be present in the context of meeting new people, but I also realized that I needed to hold on and draw that power outside of my client sessions, because I was only showing that to my clients and only bringing it to the table when it was necessary for a higher good. Now, of course, power doesn't only come in one format. So it really showed up in many different formats. And I was able to not only meditate on power, meditate on what my inner guidance was, inner strength, but also open up a way to showcase and to share with myself how to make decisions from that place. What's more empowering? When I'm having a conversation with someone, when I'm having a certain thought, is that a powerful thought? Is that a thought that empowers me, or is that a thought that didn't empower me? So integration really means questioning all aspects of your life in order to integrate that insight. When you are able to use one idea and shift everything that you do because it brings you closer to infinity. In our sense, we talk about infinite beings, which is your ultimate creator self, where you're able to really align who you are with your outside reality, who you are to create connections, opportunities that are going to come your way. It sounds a little bit abstract, but if you're wanting to make your life easier and with more ease, integrating the healing and the transformation possibilities will serve you. And if you are on the right path, this will open doors in a way that can invite miraculous occasions, circumstances, connections, opportunities to you. So after I did that, I naturally had people just show up wanting to book sessions with me after just meeting them a couple of times, having people reach out online, reach out everywhere, only because I was able to show who I really was and not worry about the judgment of others. Now, not everyone can do this. And in that particular case, my purpose is to just share with you to integrate. So people who have done our matrix sessions, for example, when they integrate every single new breakthrough and an insight that they learn in the next couple of days after preceding the 2-hour matrix unplugging session, what they realized was that was something that could shift and did shift their lives. Now, in other respects, when you don't integrate it and you only compartmentalize your sessions of healing and transformation and only allow healing to come in one avenue, right? Like, let's say you're only allowing healing to come in the form of, okay, this, like the skin condition has dissolved, and you're not looking at the tangles and the root causes of it upstream, then what you're going to notice is that you're only focusing on the causation and the symptoms of what the actual root issue is. So first of all, going back to the point, integrate every single thing that you learn in as many aspects of your life as you can, and that will maximize your value of healing. And that's a great breakthrough golden rule, because that gives you multiple thousands and thousands of X the amount of learning that you can have from a single insight. Now, number 3, it's important to be aware of your non-healing thoughts or non-positive thoughts or behaviors, right? When you are walking day to day, thousands and millions and bits of information flow through your awareness. As long as they are conflicting subconsciously with where you want to go, that creates a dissonance in terms of frequency. And that does hinder your ability to cleanly and clearly create your outcome, whether that is healing, whether that is your financial goals, whether that is your relationship goals, or whether that is a spiritual connection. Now, when you're able to notice what are the thoughts that are coming through your head, what are the perspectives you're holding when you're saying certain things, having certain resistances to creating change, you'll realize that that perspective may not be the highest perspective that you can hold. Maybe that perspective is not something that is conducive to your healing or conducive to your transformation. An example might be if someone wanted to be a content creator or someone who wanted to impact the world and change the world in a positive way. Now, if they're wanting to do that, and yet when it comes to, let's say, creating content like I'm doing right now, they're having challenges every single day doing it and showing up for content creation, then there is something that is in resistance to it. Now, understanding what it is, whether that's a fear of visibility, fear of judgment, fear of maybe even the fact of fear of failing and not being able to impact the world when this happens, or there's so many different possibilities, but noticing where the resistance comes in and what kind of thoughts form it, you're able to create the changes easier. So being so careful about what kind of perspective and thought process you're coming from will allow you to quickly shift that, discard that thought process, and adopt a thought process that is more supportive of your journey. If you don't believe in transformation or you don't believe that you can do this quicker, or you don't believe that you're able to break through certain emotions, right? Then you just want to ignore it instead. Then what is going to end up happening is that you will never get the result that you want in the time that you want. Of course, you need to be patient, and there are certain things with divine timing. And at the same time, if you're watching this and if you have that desire to really shift yourself in the moment, because time really is just a construct and doesn't actually exist when it comes to healing and breakthrough, you can make a decision right now, and that can change your life if you stick to that conviction. I've healed my 15-year disease in one decision, but it took me, the following 6-7 years to stick to that decision. And that commitment can take every second of the day to stick to, because I could always return back to the old ways. So being aware of what thoughts are supportive of your change and what thoughts are not supportive of your change is the third golden rule. Now, fourth one is choosing, right? This is continuation of the last one, choosing your focus on a day-to-day, second-to-second, thought-to-thought process. When you're able to choose your focus and align that to your vision, then what's going to happen is that each thought, each action, each idea, each way and reason of interaction will fit in your vision. Each decision you make, each resource you call in, each connection that you're making, is it supportive of your vision? And your vision has got to be something that not only serves you, but those around you as well. Because if you're only going for something that purely serves one person, that also is a bit of imbalance. It creates imbalance, and it does not create a higher level goal that allows you to round off, to share the energy, to impact the positive change that you're looking to. It limits the possibility of the value that you can share. So choose your focus and do whatever it takes. Any doubt, any resistance are all unserving emotions to accomplishing what you're here to do. So when you notice that, just like what we talked about in number 3, shift it. Shift those doubts, shift those fears. Because when you're making a decision from a place of empowerment and choosing, right? Number 4, choosing to focus on your vision from a place of clarity and empowerment, what's going to happen is that you are going to be so strong in your practice that you are able to acknowledge the fears, acknowledge the resistances, and still choose the path that takes courage, that is in alignment to your ethics, your values, and is exactly what you're here to do and how you want to transform. All right. So number 4 is choosing your focus, choosing your vision, come from a place of your inner alignment over and over again. And what I mean by that, we can check it out more in the book where we talk about the exact visions that you can be having. There's a little bit of a glare. And the other thing is, of course, we have your unique magnetic momentum program that also gives you an idea of what exactly is your inner energy source. Each person has a way of activating what their internal energy is, that their lives, their work, their decision making, their thoughts can focus on. There's usually 3 words or 1 word that activates who you are inside. Now, the 5th thing is that once you know what those are, we call them YOLO commitments or yummy commitments, or you only live once commitments that really activate your authenticity so that the way you show up in the world allows for you to be in direct resonance with the opportunities that will serve your vision or that you will serve, because that vision oftentimes is a vision that you just can't ignore, something that just drives fulfillment in you and also is beneficial for the world. Now, the 5th thing is embodying the energy in every breath, every action, every cell, every decision, every part of your being, your heart, and your mind. So it's no use for you to only heal and only practice healing when you are on your own, or when you are doing your Qigong practice, or when you're doing your meditation practice, or when you're doing your dance practice or your personal practice. You don't want to compartmentalize your healing only in those practices, although that's really important for beginners especially, and masters as well, if you want to cultivate something that allows you to spend the specific time to yourself, especially if you have families and kids running around. It's important to have and carve out that alone time. However, where the rubber meets the road is when you actually apply it in every second, especially when you're standing at the edge of the cliff. And I talk about this all the time. When you're ready to transform, all fears will show up. Oh, you didn't do this before. Oh, like, when you did it last time, it didn't work. Oh, how can you possibly see that from this perspective? Like the future, you just can't see success from it, all those doubts. No one woke up knowing that they could do anything. Maybe they did, maybe as a baby, right? When there's no construct of disbelief. But if you suspend what we talked about earlier, all decisions, all judgments, all projections from the past, if you suspend and delete all computations and all worries and all doubts, and you're able to have confidence in your focus of empowerment, right? Number 4, and then also allow yourself to apply every insight that you get along the way to every single part of your life and know that you can embody it. Number 5, and then always be aware of non-serving thoughts. Of course, you're going to be able to shift and transform. And of course, this is why our clients soar and go crazy and in a really, really good way and just catapult their transformation. And of course, this can happen for you, right? If you have that idea of, I will do whatever it takes, I will do whatever is necessary for me to get to my healing, my transformation, my next financial goal, my next goal to impact a positive way for the world, my next way to show up in a relationship in a way that creates the most juicy and crazy amazing intimacy. These are all decisions that require I will do whatever it takes perspective. And that is how I healed my 15-year disease. I literally thought, you know what? I'm going to do whatever it takes. And that's how I found the solutions and the ability to discern among 20, 30, I don't even know how many modalities, and being able to pick what worked in each one and fully apply that to the maximum so that I was able to overcome that. And then over and over again, every single client that I've had, shared with them how to treat every single goal, every single desire with that type of attitude, and finding out ways in where the kinks and the dinks are not serving you anymore. All right. Or serving them anymore and serving you anymore. So remove those. These are 5 golden rules to practice. So to summarize real quick, we've got the suspend all prior thoughts and projections, because those are not, especially if those are not serving you, but anything that has expectations, judgments, remove them, because you want to create from a place of infinite possibility and not limited perspective. Number 2 is taking the insight somewhere and applying them 360 inside out, every single direction, every single dimension. Number 3 is be aware of when non-supportive, non-healing, non-transformative thoughts enter your mind at any moment in time. Ask if it's going to serve you and decide if you want to let those go. And usually, yes, you do. And trust that you will arrive at a place that is better. And then 4, choosing your focus and vision over and over and over again. If you want to stay stuck, if you want to do things exactly the way you want to do it, then that's your choice and you don't need to change. But if you don't want to change and you don't want to, if you don't want to not change and you don't want to stay stuck and you don't want things to go exactly the same snail way as it's happening, then you want to change it and decide to face the potential person that you could become when you're no longer limited by those limiting thoughts. Now, the 5th one is to embody the energy in every breath and every cell. And these are some practices that we'll be teaching in the privates as well as some group classes on how to embody that energy, so that not only are you able to feel it inside, but actually start opening the channels to feel what it feels like, so that you can be in a state of healing, be in a state of transformation, be in a state of not accepting anything less than who you are here to become. All right. So here are the 5 golden rules. I'm so excited for you to apply them. Which one stood out the most for you? Please let me know in the comments. Of course, if you like this type of video, I have prosperity blueprints for you to work on your prosperity on the energetic level in the links below. I've got a PDF for you to transition into meaningful work and meaningful career, and removing all the thoughts that limit you and your potential, also in the links below in the description box. And of course, we always have lots and lots of supportive videos here, meditations, and occasionally some spots to work with me privately so that we can get you to the next level at warp speed. All right, here's Hani, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll see you soon. Mwah.